When the early settlers arrived in the Americas, they brought with them not just hopes, dreams, and a boatload of questionable hygiene habits, but also cannabis seeds. Now, these weren't the kind of seeds you'd find in a hippie stash box today. No, these were hardworking, no-nonsense seeds destined to become hemp, the colonists' miracle plant. But before we get too deep into this green past, let's rewind even further. Cannabis is older than your great-grandma's secret pie recipe, dating back thousands of years to ancient civilizations in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. But before we get too deep into this green past, let's rewind even further. Cannabis is older than your great-grandma's secret pie recipe, dating back thousands of years to ancient civilizations in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. Imagine ancient humans sitting around a fire, enjoying a fine evening of storytelling, and possibly, just maybe, a little puff, passed from the temples of India, where holy men used it to achieve enlightenment. To the pharaohs of Egypt, where they might have been more lit than the pyramids. Cannabis was the ancient world's go-to for medicine, meditation, and the occasional really good time.
Settlers bold, bringing hemp to the land of gold. Hemp, hooray! It's the plant that saves the day. From ropes to clothes and cells so strong. Cannabis, you can't go wrong. But let's rewind to the ancient days, where cannabis grew in so many ways. From India's temples to Egypt's sands, a plant that's traveled to so many lands. Hemp, hemp, hooray! It's the plant that saves the day. From ropes to clothes and cells so strong. Cannabis, you can't go wrong. But let's rewind to the ancient days, where cannabis grew in so many ways. From India's temples to Egypt's sands, a plant that's traveled to so many lands. Hemp, hemp, hooray! It's the plant that saves the day. From ropes to clothes and cells so strong. Cannabis, you can't go wrong. They used it for medicine, to meditate too. Pharaohs and holy men, they all knew cannabis was the ancient world's delight. A little puff, and everything's alright. Hemp, hemp, hooray! It's the plant that saves the day. From ropes to clothes and cells so strong. Cannabis, you can't go wrong. So when you think of history, don't forget to see the arrival of hemp, so lush and green. In the new world, it made its mark. A plant so mighty, it left a spark.
Let's start with our ancient buddies in Asia. China, around 2700 BCE, was already hip to the cannabis scene. The Emperor Shennong, a legendary figure often considered the father of Chinese medicine, was said to have documented the use of cannabis for treating ailments like gout, rheumatism, and a sort of menstrual cramps that could make even the toughest warrior cringe. This wasn't just any folk remedy, it was serious business. They called it law, and it was so revered that it made its way into Chinese pharmacopoeias for centuries. Across the Middle East, cannabis use was also deeply embedded in the culture. The ancient Persians, for instance, were known for their Halma rituals, a divine drink that some scholars believe included cannabis as a key ingredient. Now imagine attending a religious ceremony where the wine isn't the only thing that gets blessed. There's also a little green added to the mix. This might explain some of those really vivid Zoroastrian traditions. The Egyptians, never once to be left out of a good thing, weren't just building pyramids and making mummies. They were also using cannabis. Papyrus scrolls from ancient Egypt reveal that cannabis was used to treat sore eyes and other ailments, proving that ancient Egyptians might have been ahead of their time in more ways than one. Maybe those hieroglyphs were inspired by more than just their artistic skills. Fast forward a bit to Europe, where cannabis took on a more practical role. By the time the Romans were having their wild parties, about wild we mean sugar-clad and wine-fueled, cannabis had become a key material for making ropes and sails. The Vikings and medieval Europeans also saw the value in hemp. Just picture those early Norsemen weaving hemp ropes to tie up their long ships before setting out to pillage a village or two. Who knew that cannabis was the unsung hero of seafaring adventures?
China, way back in time. Russian on had a remedy so fine. Gout and cramps, no problem at all. Just a dose of ma to answer the call. Sacred smokes the sailors' ropes. Cannabis through history, how it copes. From ancient lands to sailing seas, cannabis grows, spreading with ease. Over in Persia, with rituals so grand, Homa flowed a divine command. A little green mixed with the sacred drink. Religious visions, they make you think. Sacred smokes to sailors' ropes. Cannabis through history, how it copes. From ancient lands to sailing seas, cannabis grows, spreading with ease. Over in Persia, with rituals so grand, Homa flowed a divine command. A little green mixed with a sacred drink. Religious visions, they make you think. In Egypt they were building tall. Cannabis helped them stand the call. From sore eyes to mummies old, the pharaohs knew it was pure gold. Sacred smokes to sailors' ropes. Cannabis through history, how it copes. From ancient lands to sailing seas, cannabis grows, spreading with ease. In Egypt they were building tall. Cannabis helped them stand the call. From sore eyes to mummies old, the pharaohs knew it was pure gold. In Egypt they were building tall. Cannabis helped them stand the call. From sore eyes to mummies old, the pharaohs knew it was pure gold. Sacred smokes to sailors' ropes. Cannabis through history, how it copes. From ancient lands to sailing seas, cannabis grows, spreading with ease. So when you think of history scope, with hemp and ropes, no ship derailed. Europe saw it oh so clear. Cannabis was the plant of the year. History scope, remember the journey of sacred smoke. From ancient rites to ships at sea, cannabis has a legacy.
let's sail across the Atlantic. When the early settlers, particularly the English, set foot on American soil, they were determined to establish a prosperous new life. Part of that life, you guessed it, cannabis. But these settlers weren't looking to get stoned under the new moon. They were all about practicality, survival, and profit. Hemp, the sturdy, fiber-rich cousin of today's marijuana, was the crop of choice. In 1619, the Virginia Assembly passed a law requiring every farmer to grow hemp. That's right, they didn't just suggest it, they made it a legal obligation. Imagine being a colonial farmer, already overwhelmed with trying to survive in a new land, when suddenly your to-do list includes grow hemp, or else. These laws weren't just in Virginia, either. Massachusetts and Connecticut soon followed suit. It wasn't because the colonists were planning a massive smokeout. Hemp was essential for making ropes, sails, and clothing. Basically all the stuff you needed to keep a colony running smoothly. Cannabis wasn't just a plant, it was a lifeline. Hemp was so valuable that during shortages, it was even used as currency. That's right, people were literally paying their taxes with hemp. Take that modern tax code. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and other founding fathers also grew hemp on their estates, fully aware of its economic importance. However, let's clear the air. There's no solid evidence that George and Tom were rolling doobies between drafting the Declaration of Independence and harvesting their hemp.
The wind blows, it wasn't the fun or frolic its bright. It was the crop that built the might. In 1619, the law did say, grow your hemp or they'll be hell to pay. Farmers toiled, the seeds were sown. Hemp was the key to making home. Virginia's fields, so where the wind blows, it wasn't for fun or frolic's bright. Hemp was the crop that built the might. It was currency when times were tough. Pay your taxes with that fiber rough. George and Tom, they knew it well. Hemp was the plant that rang the bell. Virginia's fields, so where the wind blows, it wasn't for fun or frolic's bright. Hemp was the crop that built the might. Hemp, oh, the new world grows from Virginia's fields, so where the wind blows, it wasn't for fun or frolic's bright. Hemp was the crop that built the might. Oh. So when you think of the new world start, remember hemp, it played its part. Not just a plant, but a lifeline true. Hemp built the world that we all knew. So when you think of the new world start, remember hemp, it played its part. Not just a plant, but a lifeline true. Hemp built the world that we all knew. No doobies here, just fields of green, the strongest ropes you've ever seen. For sails and clothes and sturdy gear, hemp was the crop they held so dear. Ho, the new world grows from Virginia's fields to where the wind blows. It wasn't for fun or frolic's bright. Hemp was the crop that built the might. Ho, the new world grows from Virginia's fields to where the wind blows. It wasn't for fun or frolic's bright. Hemp was the crop that built the might. start. Remember hemp, it played its part. Not just a plant, but a lifeline true. Hemp built the world that we all knew.